Hey guys, Boy here, and this is things I've learned with Resolut1ion's Slark in 720. This hero got a lot of changes, and before we even start, I'm proud to say that I have Reso's own feedback in a part of this video. This means that these are his exact words, and now we'll make sure that you know exactly which part he's giving his feedback. I do plan on doing this as often as possible, so make sure to give feedback on whether you like it or not, and make sure to just like and subscribe to the video if you enjoyed it. Slark got a lot of buffs, and despite the nerfs on 720B, the hero is still super solid. This lane in particular is not great for the fish, not only because he's against two bulky offlaners, but also because they both have AoE stuns that last for a long time, and you only have one dark pack. Centaur doesn't have level 1 stun, and now the Titan can only stun at level 2, so it's pretty common for Slarks to get S and shift against melee offlaners. You reduce the damage differential between the two heroes by a lot, and getting extra 9 damage for actually less hitting the wave is awesome, especially when he doesn't have his Quelling Blade. That being said, the newly buffed Elder Titan just dives the Oracle in the tower, and that's first blood. You can see the Reso never expected to get S and shift stacks and use that to kill the Centaur in the lane, as it's usually normal if you're in a solo lane versus the Centaur. He just boops the Centaur a little bit every time a new wave meets, so he can get more damage, harass a little bit better, and get CS. As you can see though, regardless of any buffs Slark got, his laning stage is still awful, especially against a lane like this one. Reso constantly drew aggro, even if he meant the tower would be hitting a creep and he has no Quelling Blade, so he has more chances of getting the CS and less of being killed or harassed by the Centaur. This is the first kill Reso gets in lane, and you can see how he uses the hero to its limits. He's only a level 3 Slark with no boots, but he comes in, attacks, he knows that Oracle has range for the root, so he keeps on attacking without ever resorting to the Pact or Pounce. As the root is about to end, he makes sure to get one attack off before committing the Pounce, and only uses the Dark Pact after he lands. The lane just gets worse from there though, a lot of pressure from Radiant that eventually leads to this kill. Reso participates but doesn't get the kill and also dies. In this game, Reso went for the double Wraith Band since he got the 1, so he doesn't have loss for 3, and it makes a lot of sense. Centaur has 2 actives with very low cooldown, and Other Titan is kinda similar. Speaking of the Other Titan, he engages on Reso here, and pay attention to the fight that unfolds. Centaur has ult, and so they keep slowly pressuring more and more. Reso never fully commits since he's so close from his level 6 and they don't have that much damage anyways. You can see how much Reso wants the range creeps, so he gets his level 6 and then they can fight since they have the numbers advantage in the top lane. He even commits the Dark Pact to be sure that going for this is risk-free, and even though the Centaur is low, look what he does. He fully disengages and uses this small spot to heal while his allies bait for him. He had 270 HP as he disengaged. By waiting it out and hiding here, he engages with almost 200 extra HP. He also has another Dark Pact ready now to dodge the stun, ending up in a center kill followed by a silencer. He was not that close from dying, but always making sure you can actually heal a little bit and go back is why Slark is so good. This is the part where Resolut1ion gets in. As you can see, he's going for phase boots, a trend that started for Slarks in this patch, and I want you guys to see what Reso thinks about it. He said, "Hi bro, I just think phase boots is better on Slark than power treads for a few reasons. Hero is very dependent on chase, so move speed is very nice, and phase boots gives you attack speed, which is also a valuable factor for this hero. But I'm not 100% sold. Maybe power treads might be better because you will have more burst damage with that extra damage from the item. It's a new patch, I'm mostly trying everything out, smiley face." So yeah, thank you very much Reso, and I do hope that more pros can actually step in and speak their mind about the heroes that I talk about. Even before he completes the phase boots, we see him standing on the center. The Sand King gave the call that he was going in, so to buy time, Reso goes with the Dark Pact on. He's 100% sure he's safe. And note how he keeps attacking during the stun, but slowly disengages since he has no pack to dodge the stun. Centaur ends up wasting the stunning panic, and we can see the wand paying for itself in this fight. Besides the phase boost change, being able to use Clarities even though you're using Dark Pact is a huge buff for Slark, not only because Aquila is dead, but also because how much you can farm with this, and since Reso had it on for all his farming in the jungle here, look what happens when Radiant tries to engage. He has just enough mana to Dark Pact this stun. then to Dark Pact the sensor spells and win the fight. And it doesn't end here. He can go back to farming since he has the double Wraith Bands and more clarities on him. This hero used to suffer because if he had a bad laning stage, it would take a decent amount of time to get a Shadow Blade. Thanks to the buff Wraith Bands and clarities, you can farm the newly and more secure jungle way faster. Even though Rezo had 27 CS at 8 minutes, he finishes his Shadow Blade quite early. Another thing I want to comment on is the fact that Dire Courier died, and yet he never came back to get his items. Pro players will very rarely go back to base to get components of an item that are not essential for the game at that exact moment. Especially if they're playing Corpse. Do you farm slightly faster with the attack speed from a Shadow Amulet? Yes. Even then, it's not worth going back for it. Your lanes will push, you will lose farming time, and at the end of the day, Slark farms by using Dark Pact. The attack speed is not that relevant to the speed that he farms, which is what he will do until the Shadow Blade is completed 99% of the time anyways. You can see that even when the Shadow Blade is done, Rezo doesn't run back to the base, he still has mana to keep farming, and while you might think that the opportunity cost of getting kills is being lost, he's not even level 12 yet, so he actually benefits from farming a little bit more. The game is also dead even in gold, there's no pressure on Rezo to be inefficient with his time and go back to the fountain, and I hope I'm being clear enough. You will rarely see a top tier core going back to base to pick an item, even a Shadow Blade on Slark, that I'm pretty sure no one can argue is not core on the hero. One of the many buffs that Slark got this patch is the fact that you cannot blink strike, or move out of pounce unless you have a 4-staff. There's this weird Iron Branch shenanigan that I'm gonna leave here. You can try it out. It works most of the time. But yeah, a core PA probably doesn't have a slot for a branch in his inventory, which means that PA, a hero that usually wouldn't struggle much against Slark until he gets a Silver Edge, now needs to be careful around Rezo, and he wants to boss Matumba Man around as soon as the Shadow Blade arrives. The core play of Slark didn't change much. Even though you can use Clarities or Aquila, you really need Mana Regen, and the Echo Saber is just a great item on the hero. I wonder if Kayasha will start to become core on him for the same reasons. I saw BSJ going for the item yesterday. But anyways, Rezo goes for the center here since Elder Titan is dead. Tiny shows, and he has a ward in the area. Note that when he engages, he does not commit Dark Pact until Centaur fakes the animation. By being very patient with your Dark Pact, you get way more effective damage with your hero, especially when you know that there are other heroes in other areas of the map, so you actually don't have to worry about someone just counter-initiating from nowhere. And that's another kill for the Dire. This is another tip on engaging with Slark. You need to be aligned with the direction a hero is running. If you try and engage running towards opposite directions, you will lose time and pulse duration because you have to turn to attack. One thing you can notice is the very low-key but real phase boots contribution. This hero has 358 move speed when he's in the open, but once he clicks the PA, he goes to 420. This is a 60 move speed increase, and in a hero like Slark with still so much agility, you attack so fast that moving fast makes you get more damage and attack faster, and you just become a beast. They dive Matumba here, they get the kill. Another thing to mention is the lifesteal talent on Slark. The talent is not the most popular one, but when you pair Oracle with this hero, the fact that as long as you attack, you will live makes it quite strong in this scenario. Even with the Echo Saber, the clarities did not stop coming. Rezo barely survives the tiny initiation here. But thanks to the Shadow Dance and the lifesteal talent, they get a counter kill, and he's ready to keep roaming the map. It's interesting to see that Slark is a hero where the Qualm Blade has very little value. Not only the new Wraith Bands are amazing, but he doesn't rely on the item to farm faster. It's all about the Dark Pact and the Mana Regen, so he just backpacks the Clarities and would rather have the Wraith Band in the inventory than the Qualm. Don't be tricked though, this game was not easy. Matumba Man was still a beast, and Rezo decides that going BKB this game might be the better option. After a pick-off, Dire starts to dive hard for Matumba Man kill. Until Tiny shows up here. You can clearly see the effectiveness of the phase boots in this kill. Without Skadi, Slark would struggle quite a bit to stay on top of the Tiny, but here not only he goes back from almost 0 HP to full, thanks to the lifesteal talent, he has the mobility to get that kill. He waits for his cooldowns, he re-engages, and that's pretty much game. Guys, thank you very much for commenting, liking, and subscribing. I know this video is kind of short. I had some troubles today, but I really want to keep uploading 5 days a week. And unfortunately, the video is not up to standard, I think, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyways. There's going to be more videos in the next week. As you all know, I have a Patreon now where you can actually get your replays cast by me, and we will be casting some games tomorrow. So make sure to drop the tweet string if you're interested in having your games cast. It really helps me out. I really want to become a talent. I really want to invest more into casting, and that takes time away from YouTube, and having a more certain livelihood definitely makes it easier for me to make these videos that you guys, I hope, like. Anyways, if you liked the video, make sure to comment why you liked it. If you didn't like, make sure to comment why you didn't like, and all that jazz. I do have a Twitter where I talk Dota and memes. I also have a Twitch where I play Artifact, Dota, and I cast Dota as well. There is an Instagram and a Discord channel you can check out. Thank you all for being here. Bye.